Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. In today's video I want to talk about this camera here, the Leica Q. Almost 2 years ago I made a video, I think it was one of the first videos I uploaded to this channel, and I was talking about the Leica Q, and I gave you like 5 reasons why this is my favorite digital camera for street photography. And in this video I want to give you 5 things that I don't like about the camera. I bought it 4 years ago, almost 4 years ago, in May 2015. I've shot roughly 100,000 images with it, so it's quite a lot. So I think I have a pretty good idea about the things that I don't like in this camera. Without further ado, let's start with number 1. The battery indicator. These days a lot of cameras, they will show you, they will give you like a percentage of how much juice the camera has left, but not so much on the Leica Q. The Leica Q will give you 3 bars. And that's not very accurate. If I'm on a job, like for instance a wedding or something, and the battery indicator drops to like to 2 bars only, maybe I wait just a little and then I will just get a new battery in. Because it happened to me on a regular basis that I had like 2 bars and like maybe 10-15 minutes later the camera was dead. So that sucked. So usually that's why I changed the battery if there's just only 2 bars left. So hopefully in the next iteration of this camera, Leica will fix that. And the second thing on the list that I don't really like is the movie mode. Let's be honest, who's using the Leica Q for video? Especially because the video in here is pretty bad. Like the quality is not really good. They took it away from the Leica M with the introduction of the Leica M10, and I think on this camera it makes no sense at all, so they should take it out. But if rumors are true, yeah, it won't be the case on the new Leica Q, so unfortunately. But on this one, it can be really annoying. Let me tell you why. On top here, there's the record button, which isn't a problem because they had a firmware update and you could easily disable the record button, so it had no function at all. However, if you start the camera and maybe hopefully you will be able to see, you can toggle between the display modes in the back. And there's this one mode, this one, and if you get into this mode by accident and then you see something cool and you want to take a photo, you'll bring the camera up and then you fire and they'll, oh, okay, what's going on? Suddenly the camera is recording video. Even though you disabled the record button, it doesn't mean that the camera is not cannot be used for filming, and that's really bad because if you accidentally activate the movie mode, it takes maybe 2-3 seconds until you realize it, and then it's too late. So hopefully on the Q2, even though there's a video mode, hopefully they will give you the opportunity to turn it off entirely so you don't accidentally shoot video instead of photos. And the next point on my list is the on-off switch, which is, yeah, I mean the thing is it has on, off or continuous shooting. Sometimes if you turn the camera on, it happened to me a couple times, so I bumped it into continuous shooting, and because the camera is so silent, and especially if you shoot in, if you need to go above 1/2000 of a second, so the camera is using the electronic shutter, you have no idea that you suddenly take more than 1 photo, so you're in continuous shooting. And that's a big problem because of number 4 on my list, the buffer. The buffer on this camera is a joke, because if you're in continuous shooting and it's set to 10 frames a second, it lasts maybe 1.5 seconds, and then the buffer is full and you cannot do anything. So that is really bad. In the beginning, when the camera came out, it was even worse, because back then you could only shoot JPEG or RAW plus JPEG, but there was no option for just RAW. Fortunately, they changed that with a firmware update, but still it's pretty bad because the buffer is just too small. And if rumors are true, and the Q2 has 47 megapixels, which I don't hope, then they have to like beef up the buffer like a couple times, maybe factor 4 or something, so it lasts a little bit longer, because that is really annoying, and it happened to me a couple times that I wanted to take a photo but I couldn't because the buffer was simply full. And last but not least, it's the diopter dial next to the viewfinder. I mean, which is a good thing to have, but the problem is it's so loose. If you take it out of your bag, it's very likely that you will turn it accidentally, and then you are about to take a photo, through the viewfinder, everything is blurry, which is pretty bad. So I have no idea how they messed this up, because I mean, it's a very well engineered camera, but this one thing makes no sense whatsoever. It's like the worst thing. It happens to me like almost on every shoot, which is pretty annoying. At one point I almost just glued it in place. So, but I thought, maybe I shouldn't do that. And hopefully they will fix that on the new one. On the Leica CL, it looks very different and looks more, I haven't used the Leica CL so far, but there it looks much better. So this is very flimsy, and hopefully they will get rid of this, because like I said, it is the most annoying thing ever. Okay guys, these are the 5 things I don't like about the Leica Q, and I hope that Leica will fix it with a new iteration of this one. Other than that, it's still my favorite digital camera ever. I mean, I've shot it since 4 years, and it's still my favorite camera, so that speaks for the quality of the camera. It's pretty good and pretty solid still, even though it's like, for a camera, it's almost like a grandpa now. But yeah, that's the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up if you like it. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and we will see each other very soon, the upcoming Friday, for the next How I Shoot video. So until then, auf Wiedersehen.